Russia was a primarily agrarian country, and its agricultural peasantry constituted between 40 and 50% of the population of the whole country. The serfs were not imported from abroad like slaves in the United States were. Russian serfs were ethnically Russian. In fact, most of the ethnically Russian population was enslaved under the imperial house of Romanov. The feudal system, in which landowners owned the peasants working their lands and the peasants' families, had been instituted in the early 18th century by Russia's first emperor, Peter the Great, as part of his sweeping campaign of economic and political reforms. By the early 19th century, Russia's non-parliamentary monarchic government was making motions toward canceling the institution of serfdom.
Видали, карлики, там у школьников хотят бесплатно трудиться обязать. Будут теперь бесплатно, ёпты, работать. Полезный навык, ёпты. Бесплатная эта работа. В жизни такие везде нужны, везде востребованы.
Progress was slow, however, because, as can be expected in such cases, the government encountered an enormous amount of resistance from the landowning oligarchic class, the owners of the serfs and collectors of income from their own lands. The original plans, proposed in the days before Alexander II, had been for nationalization of all agricultural property, along with the serfs, which naturally didn't please the landowners at all. By the 1850s, even though through several stages of government intervention, the serf population had been reduced from 50% to 35%, peasant revolts began to sweep the country. The father of the legendary novelist Fyodor Dostoevsky, for example, was murdered by his own peasants. And this is not a terribly unusual scenario for this period in Russia's history. Finally, Alexander II's government arrived at an economic compromise that would allow the emancipation reform to go through in a way that let both the government and the